their goals and develop confidence one mind shift habit at a time. Let's join our host, certified coach Christina.
Hello. Welcome to Conversations with Coach. I am your host, certified mindset and confidence coach, Christina Callaway. I help athletes, parents, and coaches develop the confidence they need to achieve their goals, both on and off the field of play. Did you realize we are 2 months into the second quarter of this year? And summer is officially 48 days from today. And you may be asking yourself, is it possible for me to get my body ready for my summer clothes in just 48 days? You know, this is the time where some of us regret have had that extra helping of mashed potatoes, or getting that extra shot of cream in our favorite espresso. Just all of that comfort food that we might have been enjoying during the winter months. Well, my guest on this episode of Conversation with Coach is here to offer some tips, not only for how you can get back on track to a consistent workout program, but he is also going to share how keeping a mobility mindset will keep you off of the seasonal workout roller coaster. Joining me today is the CEO of Blaney Fitness, certified personal trainer Joseph Jones. He is a graduate of Purdue University with a master's degree in higher education administration. In addition to holding a certification in personal training, Joseph, also known as Joe, holds a certification in exercise nutrition. He teaches one-on-one, group fitness, and boxing fitness classes. He partners with organizations and their wellness programs by serving the public servant through health and wellness. I want you to help me welcome our guest, and let's show him some love by putting some hearts and fire in the chat. Please welcome Joseph Jones to the show. Hey, Joe.
Hey, Christina, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Welcome and thank you for joining me. It's a pleasure to have you join the conversation.
Man, thank you for having me.
You're so welcome. How have you been?
Been all right. I've been doing quite well. How about yourself?
Hey, I'm hanging in here, getting ready for summer, that's for sure.
I know that's right. You and me both.
Well, as I mentioned in your intro, you know how everybody's always saying, I forget what that little saying is, trying to get that summer bod, or
Yeah, summertime fine, huh?
yes, everybody jumps on that cliche. And time since the pandemic 2 years ago, time just seems to sneak up on us. And
Yeah.
I know that a few days ago, when I was reflecting, I was like, golly, we have just started May. And depending on where you are in the country, the temperature might make you think summer is already here.
Definitely.
And so I'm really glad that you're on. And I know I've worked with you and I am working with you. And I really like your mindset as it relates to fitness and it just being a part of your normal habits, your regular routine. It's not something that you have to get ready for. It's just a part of what you do, your regular life. And as we age, it definitely should be. It shouldn't,
Sure.
like when we were in our 20s and we could trick our minds and our bodies into, thinking that we could just shed those pounds and
That's
jump
right.
into our bathing suits. It doesn't really work like that anymore as we
No.
age. So
Unfortunately.
yes, definitely. Unfortunately, I wish it was still like that. I want you to actually share with the listening audience and those who may be viewing this later on. I want you, if you would, share with everyone how it all started for you. How did you get started into the health and wellness industry?
Sure. Well, really, it started when I was a child. Growing up in the 70s, we didn't have video games, um, nice weather outside. We were always outside. So whether it was playing football in someone's yard, playing basketball in the driveway or at the park, we were just always outside, running, jumping, flipping, just playing, riding the skateboards, riding the bicycles, what have you. But as I got older, organized sports became part of my routine. So playing sports in high school led to me receiving a full track scholarship to Purdue University. There, I ran hurdles for 4 years, 110 hurdles, 400-meter hurdles, made lifelong friends, boiler up. And after that, fitness just became something that was just part of what I did. Now, mind you, I did take a little bit of a hiatus. You enter the workforce, you're busy trying to work, trying to make money, trying to manage your life, and just going into a gym situation, just doing the things that I was doing as an athlete, that did not match up with the rigors of my schedule. And so there was a period of time where really wasn't working out, really wasn't taking care of myself, gained a lot of weight. And through a series of events, changing of jobs, working with friends, one of my good friends actually got me back into the gym. And it was almost immediately that the bug kind of just jumped back on me. And I was kind of in between some positions at the time, and I decided that stepping into the fitness industry was the right fit for me at the time. So I actually approached the manager of the gym that I was attending because luckily they were actually looking for some personal trainers at the time. And I just kind of slid right into that role. And so at that time pursued certification from the American Council on Exercise, and the rest is kind of history from there. So it was really just a matter of being in the right place at the right time that actually got me into the industry. But my background and my passion for sports and fitness and movement is what kind of propelled me to step into that role.
Excellent. You brought up a lot of good points, and especially for when you were younger and you were just outside all the time playing, just
Sure.
naturally what kids like me, what we did when we were growing up. We were outside, we were playing. Fitness was a part
Sure.
of our life, part of our regular routine. And
Yes.
as time has gone and more things have become available to our youth, and unfortunately some unpleasant things, they've been pushed inside. And so that natural play is no longer there.
hmm
And we've come to suffer for that through illnesses, heart disease, diabetes, and things
Sure.
of that sort. And our lifespan has suffered for that as well. Illnesses that wouldn't necessarily plague children are now plaguing them.
Sure. Definitely.
And so you have a creed that you go by in your business. And before we get there, and because it is going across the ticker there, live strong, live long, live fit. And we are going to get into talking about that in depth. But your company is Blaney Fitness. Tell me a little bit more about Blaney Fitness.
The name Blaney Fitness, if you look at Blaney, Blaney is a last name. Blaney spelled Blaney. Blaney was my father's last name. We're through a series of events, it's not hard to imagine. I grew up, I never took my father's last name as I was growing up. And so I used the name Blaney. By birth, I am the third. So I'm Joseph Blaney the third, which is where the three comes in. Um, I've always used the name Jones. Other members of my family, the household I grew up in, everyone was Jones. And so Of course, I didn't want to be an outsider in my own family, even though I would not have been. But Jones was just the name that I always used. And so I've been known as Joseph Jones. All of my records, everything that I've ever participated in was Joseph Jones. And so Blaney Fitness is just kind of a way to maintain ties with my own history, with my own family, that part of my family and my life. And so Blaney Fitness just kind of seems natural to me. It's just something that I can honor my own heritage and my own legacy. And so Blaney was my dad's name and my grandfather's name. And so my paternal grandfather's name. And so the three, again, I'm Joseph Blaney the third. And so I just wanted to honor that legacy in some kind of way in what I did with my life.
That's really good. And that actually is a really good segue into the next segment that we're going to be talking about when you're talking about living strong. Because it's not just talking about it from a physical standpoint, but we also know that even when we're discussing physical fitness, it is also coming from a mindset. And by you using that part of a segment of your life, you took what could have been a negative and you turned it into a positive because of the fact that you took on that last name that you may not have known a lot about, and you are now representing it as your business name. And so you are still connected to it and you are doing good with it. And so let's talk about this creed of yours, this live strong, live long, live fit creed. How did that come about?
Well, if you think about health and wellness, those three things kind of sum up everything that we do in the health and wellness industry, fitness industry. We want individuals to be strong. We want them to be fit, and we want to promote longevity or quality of life. And so I think that was just kind of a catchy slogan that kind of came to me. What is it that I want to do when I'm working with my clients? If somebody wants to know what it is that I do, I think those three things sum up everything that I really try to do in a nutshell. I want you to live strong. I want you to have a long life. But what is the point of having a long life if you're not fit? The quality of life means so much more. You can have all the money in the world. You can live to 120 years old and be bound to a wheelchair. You can have, and not necessarily through accident, but just through a series of not taking care of yourself, not being well. One of the big impetus behind that creed is a scripture in Deuteronomy where it talks about Moses. It said Moses was 120 years old and his eyes were not dim, nor his physical force abated. So he was still strong. And that's kind of my motivation and my goal, not only for myself, but for others. I am a family person. I have a son. He has three beautiful daughters. I have three grandchildren. One of the things that I always think about as I'm going about my day-to-day, when I'm working out and exercising, when I meet other adults that have children or grandchildren, I really want to encourage them because it's my goal as well. I want to be able to get on the floor and play with my grandchildren. I want to be able to run around outside. I want to be able to do cartwheels with my grandbabies. I want to be able to run around and chase them and not sit on the side and tell them to come and do their dance in front of me. I want to be able to do my dance with them, just play. One of the things that I always admonish people to consider is like, do you want to live the rest of your life in a seat or on your feet? And so definitely on our feet. Want to be able to go hiking. If you have a goal of going to the Grand Canyon, you want to be able to walk through the Grand Canyon or walk around the Grand Canyon, because I don't think I want to walk through the Grand Canyon myself. But you just want to be able to live the rest of your life on your feet and not in a seat. And so when you talk about those diseases of modern life, diabetes, hypertension, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, those things come from more of a sedentary lifestyle, and that's why they're called diseases of modern life. When we were younger, or when I was younger, it was always go outside and play, always running around. We had video games by the time I was in middle school, but they were brand new. That brand new Atari, we would get together at our friend's house, play the Atari for a couple of hours. But after that, it was like, yo, we going to the park. let's hop on our bikes and ride the path or the trail. Let's go play basketball. Let's play football. I'm going to race you down the street, see who's fastest. Even though we started out, we had the video games, but it was still part of our lifestyle to run and to move and to jump and be active. And that's a really big part of just how you approach life, or needing to approach life. Our bodies were designed to do work. Our bodies were designed to move. That's why we have joints. That's why we have tendons and ligaments. That's why you can get big and strong. That's why you can run fast. Right now it's track season. The NFL draft, we've seen the combine, we've seen the WNBA draft. I mean, these are athletes. Yeah, they're superior. They're definitely superior athletes. They're definitely specimens of athletic prowess, but everyone can do these things. Everyone's body is built to do work. If you look at how society started, or just our whole idea of community, we were always working, whether it was hunter-gatherers, whether it's an agricultural community, we were needed to go gather food. We needed to build things. And so our bodies having the capacity to do work, of course, rest, and then come back, recover, and do more work. And that's something that we've gotten away from. And understanding, yeah, we're in a technological age, and we do a lot of mental work, but it's important for our bodies to be able to move, to sustain themselves, because usually when we do work, when we do move our bodies, we feel a lot better, and our bodies function better. Drinking water, eating well, getting out, doing some yoga, doing some just bike riding, go for a walk, climb up and down the stairs, do some push-ups, something. But our bodies are designed, our bodies crave that because that's how our bodies were designed.
Absolutely. You've given a lot of information, and I know some of the people who may be watching us right now, they may be saying, well, Joe, I already have hypertension, or it is difficult for me I want to do all the things that you're saying. I wanted to get down
Sure.
on the floor with my grandkids, but is it too late for me? Like I already have the hypertension. I have the high blood pressure. I have the diabetes.
Sure.
What do I do? I don't feel
Sure.
like I can connect with what you're saying, because it seems like maybe my ship has already sailed, or
Sure.
maybe you've got the females who are like, you're talking about being strong. I don't want to get bulky. I don't want to have all of those muscles. I don't want to look
Right.
that way, but I do want to be
Right.
strong, because as I
Right.
age, I know that I'm losing muscle mass. What do you
Sure.
have for those individuals who they want to be fit, they don't want to take all of the medications, but they feel like maybe it's too late for them?
Sure. Most of my clients are fully grown adults. They're not in their 20s. Most of my clients are at least age 35 or older. And the majority of them, when they come to me, those are some of the issues that they have. Some of them have fallen. Some of them have had replacements of knees or hips or shoulder replacements. They're on medication. Their doctor has prescribed a personal trainer for them. And so what I do is I want them to understand that it's not too late for them. We take, we have this thing where we say, well, start with baby steps, small steps. Think about babies, though. Those are some, we think of baby steps as really small, digestible things. Journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step. Absolutely. But if you think about a baby taking steps, those are big, courageous steps. Baby has no sense of balance or proprioception of where the ground is or how to support themselves. Their heads are big and their arms are kind of jelly, the knees and everything. So they're wobbling around. And for adults, that's a scary thing. But we have to take baby steps. It takes courage to get into a position where it's the unknown. I'm not used to moving my body, and exactly what you said. Many women will say, I don't want to get big and bulky. And that's completely understandable because there's an unknown. I don't know what's going to happen when I start this journey of mine. But taking those baby steps means that, one, we put ourselves in a position to continue to move forward and get stronger and better. Those small steps are big steps for a lot of people, but it's important to take that first step. Um, Social media has done a number on us as a society. We see people doing pull-ups with one hand tied behind their back and a plyometric box attached to the other hand, and they're doing chin-ups with their tongue, all these crazy
Yeah.
and remarkable things, which those are great feats of athleticism and power and strength. But we look at those things, or everybody on Instagram looks like a Greek god or a Greek goddess. Like they've always looked like that. They just woke up this morning and they got six pack just rippling down and body glistening and everything. But they had to start somewhere else too.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
so we can't look at the end result or the end product. Matter of fact, I think it was Kobe Bryant or maybe it's Jay-Z. He said everybody wants the end result,
Yeah.
but nobody wants the process or the journey.
No.
The end result is just like life. Life is not about the destination, but it's the journey. And
Hmm.
so when I talk about living strong, living long, living fit, it's about that journey. Grew up, kids were getting an altercation. There was the interaction between us was a matter of, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do? And so when we think about what are we going to do, take that one step at a time. One step at
Right.
a time. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy the process. You don't have to get ready if you stay ready. So it's
Yeah.
not about getting ready for bikini season. It's about just staying ready to be a healthy individual. How do I do that? Always talk to somebody knowledgeable. It doesn't mean that, most people in my industry, if you came to my gym and you asked any of the people that work there, personal trainers or the people that worked at the desk, they would be more than happy to give you some pointers, point you in the right direction. I don't understand what this piece of machinery does.
Hmm.
Um, I'm not really quite sure about how to eat better. Let's
Hmm.
start with one thing at a time. Here, let me direct you to somebody that does have that knowledge. I know I'm always open and willing to talk to somebody and point them in the right direction. Here, yeah, come back. I'll be here all day. Come on, talk to me. If I'm not with a client, or let's schedule a time where we can just kind of sit down and chat for a bit and see where you are, and I can get you started. And just
Right.
taking these small steps, because most of it is a matter of building habits or undoing old habits. We don't talk about, we try not to put it in the negative, but how do we create new habits that's going to
Yes.
sustain us and continue us on to where we're trying to go?
That's
So,
excellent.
yeah, sure.
Definitely excellent. Yes, I'm one of those who actually got a prescription written from the doctor saying get a personal trainer. It's all about accountability. I mean, we only going to go
Sure.
so far by ourselves. And if you have certain goals for yourself and you want to reach them, sometimes it does take getting that personal accountability to get where you want to go. Let's go ahead and talk about the living long part of that. So we've made up in our mind that we want to get stronger, and not just physically, but we everything that encompasses that. So we're connected with you. You've got us on the program that the component for becoming stronger. The live long part, how does that connect with it?
Well, again, we talked about those diseases of modern life. Um, when you have things like type 2 diabetes, and making a distinction, type 1 diabetes, usually people are born with type 1 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes is something that's completely avoidable. You have these incidences of childhood diabetes, and that's usually type 2 diabetes, not having a good diet, not having exercise, not drinking enough water, eating a lot of sugar and processed foods, which, I enjoy a piece of candy or several pieces of candy. I enjoy cereal. For those who know me, I'm a cereal guy, but I can't survive off of that. The body is an amazing thing, and it will process those foods, and you can continue to live, but I don't think you're not going to live a very long life doing those things. And we see it every day. People dying from heart attacks, people dying from um, the effects of diabetes, whether it's having amputations, blindness, strokes, those kind of things. All of those things can be avoided to a degree through our nutritional habits and through our activity habits. And so wanting to live long means that you're doing those things that will help to enhance the quality of life and the length of life. It's like if you're in a car and you're just going 100 miles an hour and the speed limit says 20, you know the bridge is out, or you know there's a dead end, and you're you can't just drive that car through that brick wall.
Right.
You can't just go 100 miles an hour down and think, well, I'll figure it out once I get there.
Yeah.
And a lot of times as we are in our youth, and especially nowadays, our culture and our society is so much built on fast food, doing things that are quick and easy, getting quick results, whether it's take a pill to lose weight, get surgery to lose weight, which again, those things have their place when necessary and needful. But we can't live and survive very long trying to go under the knife or trying to take a pill to cause something to happen internally, when the longevity of life means that we do habits that take us through a length of time.
Yes.
So I want to lose 10 pounds or I want to gain 10 pounds of muscle. How do I do that? Yeah, there's pills that you can take to do that. But what's going to take you and enable you to continue to do that over a long period of time? The medicine will not, because you've seen the commercials where the whole time it's a 3-minute commercial and the whole time they're reading off all the side effects, all the detrimental things that will happen to you if you continue to take this medication that may help with one thing, but it's going to cause 5 or 6 other things to take place.
Right.
But you eating a bowl of broccoli and some fish, you can do that for the rest of your life. And there's no side effects. There's no downfall from no down part from eating well and eating healthy.
Right.
So the length of life is what we do. We want to be able to continue to move as we enter our 60s, 70s, and 80s and whatnot.
Right.
When you're 20 years old, the world is in front of you. But some of those habits cause us to have to slow down later on and backtrack and undo some of the damage that we may have done in our younger years, because we're not thinking about the length of life.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I appreciate about you in terms of the knowledge that you have and working with you is the fact that you emphasize over and over how it is not difficult. You don't use the word easy, but you emphasize that it's not difficult, and that it is something that can be implemented into each individual's regular routine, and everybody has a different routine. So it's not cookie cut, and you are very pragmatic in asking your clients, what is your regular routine? And you make sure that if your client doesn't understand what it is that they need to know, you're very patient with them to say, okay, well, tell me what it is that you do know, what it is that you do understand, and you make sure that they get the apps or whatever. And I know that during the pandemic, I follow you on social media, and just watching how you were cooking, I'm like, what in the world is Joe doing over there? But you were making, and it was true, you were saying in your post that this is not difficult to do. This is something that, because a lot of people, especially working parents, like, I just don't have a lot of time. And what I appreciated so much about your post, you would share what it was that you fixed. You would share the ingredients. You would share the amount of time it took you to do it. And that's very pragmatic, because now that we are on the other side of the pandemic and we are learning how to live with COVID within our society, and I'm very careful with my words, because while we are no longer in a pandemic, COVID is going to be with us, and we are having to learn how to live with it and how to live long with it in a multiplicity of ways. This is what I appreciate about you, is the fact that you're like, when you're planning your week, you know your schedule for the week, because every week is going to be different. you don't have to get derailed.
Correct.
And it's in when we don't plan that the derailing comes.
Certainly.
And so I appreciate that. And that ties into the living fit. And that particular word, fitness, it comes with it a different meaning for all of us. And
Certainly.
how would you help someone to have a basic definition of this word, the word
Sure.
fitness?
So when I think of fitness, I think of individuals. So fitness for a 20-year-old athlete means that they're able to perform well in their sport. They are able to do the things they may, if that has anything to do with their body composition, with how much body fat they may have, how much lean muscle mass they may have, being able to move according to their environment, then that's fitness for them. So again, I was a track athlete. So for me, that meant I had a certain amount of weight that I could carry to get over a hurdle. I couldn't be like most women don't want to be big and bulky and expect that I was going to be able to move down the track swiftly and be able to get over hurdles, 10 hurdles that were in my way while I was running fast. So for me, fitness at that time meant I was lean, I was light on my feet, and I felt good about being able to run. I wasn't out of breath when I did those things. So that was my level of fitness for that time. I'm 50 years old now. And while I probably could still run a race or two, I want to be fit in, as I stated, being able to play with my grandchildren. I want to be able to wake up in the morning, and again, this is for me because right now I'm not on any particular medication. I want to continue to wake up in the morning and not need the medication in
Yes.
order to function my basic function. Now, if someone is on medication, that's, they're taking care of themselves, and that's part of their fitness routine and regimen. And so I'm not advocating you just stop these things and think that eating a head of broccoli is going to fix all of this. But what
Right.
is fitness for the individual? If you've had a knee replacement, we're trying to get you back to a level of fitness where you can walk well, where if you used to run and you're capable of getting back to that point, where we can get you back to doing those things that are going to make you happy, make your heart full, make you feel good about yourself, and be able to live your life fully. And so fitness is very contextual because your fitness doesn't necessarily look like my fitness. And that's really important for individuals to understand. Just like how do we manage ourselves with planning for our fitness? One of the things that I try and get my clients to do is I give them or tell them to create a bingo sheet. And so, unfortunately, a lot of us have not been taught how to eat well.
Mm-mm.
We know that when we're hungry or we get these cravings, we go get something to eat, whether it's some French fries or whether
Mm.
it's a sandwich or some yogurt or some water, what have you. But if we have certain goals that we're trying to reach with our health and our fitness, it may or may not be tied to our body composition, but we're trying to reach those things, and our nutrition is so important in that. You're not drinking water, you're not functioning well. If you're not sleeping, you're not
Mhm.
functioning well. If you're not feeding your body the things that it needs, you're not able to function well, and um, you're not at the peak of health that you could be, and that affects your fitness. And
Mhm.
so fitness has everything to do with what you're able to do, while your health has everything to do with how you feel, how your physical body is being fueled and supported to be fit, if that makes sense.
It
So
does.
the health and wellness has everything to do with my corporal body. Fitness
Right.
has everything to do with what I'm able to do with my body. And so
Yes.
those two go hand in hand. And so if you have a busy person, let's plan this out. You plan your finances, hopefully. you plan your calendar. And so why is it that you think that what you're going to eat or your nutrition doesn't need to be planned out the same way? You
Mm-hmm.
know, you want to go on vacation. This is a prime example of what I say to my clients. You plan for vacation. You know, let's say you're going to Cancun or Turks and Caicos, and you need $5,000 to plan this trip. And that's going to be a very short trip, but you need $5,000 for this trip. So you're planning. So okay, it's going to take me. I want to go in July. It's November. I need this amount of money. So I start putting this amount of money away or putting this aside for this trip. So then when I go on the trip, I can buy my ticket. I can do the things that I want to do, and everything else is being taken care of over here, and I'm not concerned about what I need or what I'm going to do. I can just enjoy myself.
Mm-hmm.
And our nutrition has to be the same way. We have to plan those things out. I know that I have cravings for cereal. If I'm not eating well and I get hungry enough or hangry and I'm going by the grocery store, I'm getting that box of Fruity Pebbles. I'm going to eat those Fruity Pebbles in the car as I'm going home. When I get home, I'm going to fix me a bowl of Fruity Pebbles. And so, because I'm not planning for that.
Right.
But if I'm having, and I know I have cravings and I love cheesecake, okay, it's Wednesday. I know, okay, I don't need to get this cheesecake right now. I'm going to enjoy this cheesecake. I'm going to drive to Atlanta to the Cheesecake Factory. I'm going to get this piece of cheesecake. And that may be all I do is drive there and get this cheesecake, but I'm going to enjoy this cheesecake. This is my vacation. Today, later on today or Thursday, I'm not going to the grocery store to get a Snickers bar because that's not cheesecake. That's me wasting my craving on something that's cheap and something that's going to satisfy me maybe, but it's not going to be what I really want. It's like that vacation. I'm waiting so that I can enjoy my vacation. Not a cheat meal, but I'm treating myself. And we deserve to treat ourselves because that's good for our health and fitness as well. You can't have the mindset of professional athletes, bodybuilders. Everybody is not a bodybuilder. These bodybuilders eating chicken and rice and doing these things because that's going to help them for their sport. They have coaches that coach them with that. The average everyday person doesn't need to eat like that. Now, if you enjoy eating like that, perfectly fine. Will it get you the results? Yes. But when you crave that cheesecake and you go get that cheesecake, you're coming back and you're thinking, oh, I got more chicken and rice at home and broccoli. I don't want that. So now I'm stopping at the store and I'm getting a box of Fruity Pebbles. And I'm eating my Fruity Pebbles as I'm cooking my chicken and rice. And then I eat my chicken and rice and I'm going to have, for dessert, Fruity Pebbles. And so, because you have nothing tied to this.
Right.
You're not vested in this the same way an athlete is because there's
Mm-hmm.
performance tied to the way that they eat. For
Right.
you, it's just, I want to look a certain way. And
Mm-hmm.
if that's not working for you and you overwhelmed by these cravings and these desires, then as soon as you decide I'm going to treat myself, then you've fallen off the wagon and you don't have a plan for how to manage yourself. And so I could, and for some, I do get a lot more hands-on with their nutrition and their meal planning. But for the most part, it's like, what do you enjoy eating? Do you like steak? Let's eat steak. Do you like chicken breast? Let's eat chicken. Do you like tuna? Let's eat tuna. Do you like broccoli? Let's eat broccoli, rice. But how do we fit these in to support your health and your fitness? Not let's just do this because you're going to only eat chicken and rice for 3 weeks and then go on a quick liquid fast to lose all this weight. And then once you've gotten that photo shoot or you've gone to the beach, then what do I do? Because now I don't know how to feed myself. All I
Yes.
know is what my coach or my trainer has given me. And so I can't sustain this.
I love it. I
I know
love
I've
it.
said a lot. I'm sorry.
No, it's really good. So for anybody that's listening, or if you're watching the replay, what The Rock does when he has his cheat meals, don't you
Oh my
go out
goodness.
there doing that. Don't you do it. It looks
Eat
good.
12 pancakes.
But
Yeah.
do you see how much The Rock is working out on a consistent and regular basis?
Exactly.
This whole live strong, live long, live fit program, it is off the charts. And don't you go out there trying to do that cheat meal. Don't do that.
Right.
Well, Joe, I tell you, it has been my pleasure to have you here on the program, and we could go on and on and on. You know that I
Certainly.
could go
Certainly.
on and on and on, but we have come to the end, and I always do a call to action, and everybody knows that, and you all know that I'm going to put this information in the show notes. So if you don't have anything to write with, it's okay. You'll be able to access it in the show notes. But I do want you to reach out to him, and he's made it really easy for you to be able to do that. He is on Facebook and on Instagram at Blaney Fit, and that's Blaney where the E is the number 3. And also you can find him on LinkedIn. He is also on LinkedIn at Blaney Fit. And I want you to reach out to him because, as he has said here on this episode, there are a multiplicity of ways that he is going to be able to help and serve you through nutrition. And for some of us, it is just basically, yes, we need to get up and moving, but we also need to get that nutrition in there. Like if we just start moving, but the nutrition is off track, then that's not going to be, there has to be that balance that to bring it all together.
Right.
So definitely reach out. And you might think, well, I'm not in his area, so this isn't going to work. That doesn't matter. The pandemic has shown us that you don't need to be in the same area as someone. He does have clients who are online. He can set you up with your fitness and your nutrition program, and you do check-ins. That way you can get a membership or keep the membership at your gym and actually use the membership, because now you have an accountability coach who
Definitely.
will check in with you on a very regular basis. So you need to connect with him. He also partners with organizations, and he has his program that I just really thrilled about. And he actually works with public servants, and that would be police, fire, and sheriff departments. And he helps them get physically fit and ready for their test. And he keeps them ready for their test. So if you're a part of that, the public servants, and you've got an upcoming test, or your group, and you're like, oh my gosh, we could use someone like him, and you want to get wellness credits, maybe your organization does wellness credits, and you're like, we need a Coach Joe to help us to stay in shape so that, number one, we can stop the turnover of officers and fire personnel that come through our organization. You need to reach out to him. And again, I know he may not be in your area, but you can have him come out for a week and get the program set up, and then he can monitor it from where he's at. But it would be worth it. And that's just really good, because we want our public servants to be in good health as they protect and serve us. And so I really appreciate you for doing that program. So definitely reach out to him. Now, Joe, if you've been watching me, you know, in these final thoughts, I get my guests to share on that one mindset shift that you want to leave with the guests when it comes to living strong, living long, and living fit.
Okay. That one mindset is one day at a time. One day at a time. Take those baby steps. Be courageous. Take the first step. Seek out someone that is knowledgeable. Pick your brain. Everybody has a coach. Professional athletes have coaches for a reason. Personal trainers have their own trainers for a reason. Don't let ego, don't let the fear of not knowing sway you from getting started, because it is about the quality and the length of life. Seek out individuals, seek a community that can support you, that will encourage you to be healthy, to be fit, to be the best version of yourself. Because this is not just about you in a season. It's not just about wearing the shorts or the tank top or the swimsuit in the summer, but this is about you being the best you and living a full and whole life. And if you have a family, you can't wish the best or want the best for your family. If you're a parent or a grandparent and you say you would die for your children or your youngsters, why not live for them? You can't take care of someone if you're sick. They're taking care of you. So especially moms, single moms, you want to take care of your children, take care of yourself first. So that has everything to do with being healthy and living fit. And so I encourage you to take care of yourself, take care of your wellness and your inner being, and the outside will take care of itself.
That is excellent. Baby steps, take care of you so that you can take care of others. It has been my pleasure to have you on Conversations with Coach. I'm going to say goodbye to my audience, and I will be back with you.
Thank you.
And there you all have it. Another session, another episode of Conversations with Coach has unfortunately come to an end. It was been packed with just nuggets of information as we start approaching summer. And I hope the information that has been shared with you this evening from my guest has helped you have a change of mindset as it relates to your fitness, living strong, living long, and living fit. And I hope you will reach out to him. You know where to find me on all of my social media. If you aren't following me, please do so. Please make sure that you are sharing this episode with anyone that you feel could benefit from it. Also, my website, if you are ready to book your clarity call and just get that mindset shift, if you are an athlete and you are recovering from an injury, you're ready to return to play, I'm that person that can help you to do that. If you're a parent and you're just kind of at wit's end, you want to be there for your athlete, but you're just not really sure how to do that. You've got your own fears about it. Same thing as a coach, kind of just really stuck and just really not quite sure how to help your athletes reach their goal. Schedule that clarity call and we can partner and just have more conversation about it. I'm looking forward to you joining me next week here, same time, same place. And I appreciate you so very much. Until then, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for tuning in to Conversations with Coach. Please be sure to follow Coach Christina on all of her social media platforms. And remember, life is only as good as your mindset.